All right, welcome back to the Art of Hobbyness. I'm Erin, joined by my lovely co-host Tam.
Yes.
And today's kind of a special episode,
It
kind
is.
of like exciting for us, but also like a nice. We're gonna talk about a reflection on how far we've come with everything with the Art of Hobbyness, as well as announce like we're gonna take a little break for the summer. So, if you're just joining us, I'm Erin, and I am a millennial mom and a business owner, and we started this like last April, I guess, right? Or was it April?
Yeah.
So a little over
Just
a year
over a year.
ago. And it's hard to believe how fast that has gone by and how far we've come.
Yes.
And even though we both had different reasons for starting this, I feel like we're both in like kind of a different place now too, which is kind of weird.
Absolutely.
It's hard to believe. So I don't know, I'm going to tell a little bit about your journey.
Yes. So, again, I'm Tam, and I am a high, performing mom in my business world, healthcare, and then I have 2 children, and I had a bit of a moment where I was getting struggling to figure out who I was. I didn't have any things that were just for me. My identity was a mom and a wife, and I really struggled with that. I really wanted to find something that was just my space. Not to be confused with MySpace.
The 90s, okay, got it.
But I wanted a place that was just for me, that was allowing me to embrace self-care and fight some perfectionism that I was really struggling with. And you and I used to do brunches about it and talk about it, and in the end we were just kind of like, maybe we need a hobby.
Yeah.
And so we created this podcast as kind of like a diary, a public diary, to help us hold accountability, to share the journey together, I think was another one.
Definitely.
And I think
too, to share our journey with everybody and hopefully be an inspiration to other women that feel the same way as we do.
Yeah, we were trying to find a community.
Yeah, exactly.
And so I think one things that we learned right out of the gate was that the podcast was our hobby.
Yeah.
We found it kind of accidentally on purpose right out of the gate, and we love it. And so, one of the things that we constantly preach on this podcast is how, hobbies are supposed to be there to bring you joy, and they're supposed to continue to help grow you, right? But that also you have chapters in your life in which you're allowed to take a step, take a beat, walk away from anything, and then come back to it at any point in time. And so, it's getting to the summertime, and I think we're ready to take a little summer vacation finally wrap up season 1 of the Art of Hobbyness.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, we have a season!
I know, it's hard to believe.
This is so awesome! So what we just thought we would do is kind of do like a little wrap-up episode that kind of just reintroduced ourselves, talked about, some of our highs and lows of the season, and then, I was just said close it up and announce when season 2 will be here. So what would you say would be one of your highest points of this season this year?
I mean, I don't know, there was like a high point in the sense of like, I don't know, the tippy top of a mountain or
what? There were no high points spending time with me.
Yes. I guess I was looking at it a different way. Like,
I was wanting to make it all about
I gotcha. Yes. So no, obviously every recording session was like the high point, and hanging out with you, definitely, always the joy to my life.
Well, what about? I'll think of one that I was curious if this would you consider your high point is, when we first started this hobby journey and self-care, we both kind of thought that we would tackle it as diving into a new hobby every month and trying something new. And you actually kind of discovered along the way that wasn't
true.
your journey.
Yeah, that's true.
And you kind of found that really you just wanted 10 minutes. That's all you wanted was just 10 minutes a day to just try something that just really took you out of the hustle and grind and was more mindful, right?
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think that we started this, like I said, for different reasons. I was feeling very burnt out with work and with life and wanting to have more fun in life and just having something for myself. And exploring hobbies was never my goal. It was more about like prioritizing self-care, and hobbies were a great way to start doing that. And like experimenting with different things. I tried sourdough bread making, guitar, piano lessons, puzzling, did all sorts of different things like that, and sort of like each time learned something about myself, and it really helped with one, just being more curious and being more, I don't know, maybe easygoing with just trying things. I've definitely found myself, like, if I'm out and about or on vacation and there's something, like, an opportunity presents itself, I'm like, oh, I'm more likely to say, like, yes to it now. And, but yes, to answer your question, I feel like I've gotten to the point where I found a few things that I really, like, enjoy doing every week and that fill my cup. And it has really changed my mental health and outlook on life, and really helped pull me out of some of those negative emotions I was having over a year ago. I just feel like a lot more positive, I guess, having those things for myself, and also I think we both have gotten much, much better about prioritizing our, like, self, just in general, and our time, and being okay with taking the time for ourselves, right? And so I think that it's just been positive all around, and it's not, like, I don't know, it's just been fun and easy, and I guess that's how hobby's supposed to be, right?
Well, okay, so I know that you said it's been positive all around, but I can think of at least one low point for you.
Okay, what was that?
It was right out of the gate, and it was sourdough baking.
Well, that's true. The sourdough bread baking, but it was humbling, and then I learned that, it was just it was probably a poor first choice.
No, not at all.
No. It was good. It was just too overly ambitious for my first one.
I don't know if it was overly ambitious. I think it just, like, it really documented, like, a really good starting point of where you were. You know what I mean? Like, I think it gave the perfect example of where you were at in a place. And it was, that toxic perfectionism, like, that was heavily ingrained in us, and I think you would even say yourself, as far as how you managed your home, including your children with those types of learning skills. And I think, it was, like you said, it was a very big, humbling moment that made you be like, okay, if I'm going to do this, let's really think about this. So I think that one, like, even though, that's okay, sure, technically, like, I'm claiming it's true, I proclaimed for you that's true.
I can agree with that.
But I feel like it was a great starting point to really give the audience an idea of who you were currently as that person. And I, as your friend and as your co-host of this show, I can't even tell you how much it's been, like, exponential growth for you.
Oh,
like,
that's nice.
When we got to your episode where you were like, I know who I am, I know what I want my hobbies right now, it was hard not to get emotional listening to you talk during that, because it was just so amazing to see that not only does what we're saying and preaching actually work, but it's amazing to see how it, just in a matter of a year, the change that can be made. And if our listeners are intentional and truly try to embrace, what we're trying to explain as far as how the importance of scheduling self-care and using hobbies as a facilitator for that it really can work.
No, I agree 100%. So I would love to hear about your hobby journey. What were your highs and lows?
Oh gosh. Highs and lows. I guess, are you asking, like, because, obviously for me, it wasn't just, I just want 10 minutes, right? For me, my hobby journey has been, like, I really enjoy trying new hobbies. And I just want to get in there.
And do you still feel that way? You feel like you just, like, the momentum just keeps going? And you're just,
I don't want to stop. I feel like so then, okay, if I look at it in that sense, I would say my highs would be, I feel like I have found a new line of curiosity that I don't think I had before. Like, I think I'm somebody who likes to know, like, the why behind stuff, but I guess I just did that. I just wanted to hear the why, and then that was as far as I went with it, right? Whereas hobbies gave me an opportunity to try something, and it just made me more curious. And I feel like it's growing me as a person, mostly to meet friends. I always talk about how I feel like it's hard for millennial mom to meet friends. Like, how do you meet friends? Like, I watch my kid and she just walks up to someone and is like, we have the same shirts, let's play. It's like, well, that seems so simple. Well, now, like, exploring different hobbies, it gives me, like, a little bit of something that I can kind of reach out to people and be like, oh, you're here with your kid playing on the playground. Our kids seem to be getting along great. What kind of hobbies do you do? And having all the different hobbies so far that I've tried, I've tied flies, I've done magnet fishing,
calligraphy,
I've done calligraphy, I've done air dry clay,
window painting.
I mean, like, I feel like I really diversified what I tried. And so I feel like if I haven't tried the exact hobby somebody has, I've done something in a similar arena that allows me to talk to them.
Yeah.
So I guess it's twofold. It helps me make friends and it helps me be more curious.
And I think, too, another thing I've noticed is that, well, I don't know if you, I mean, when you originally started, a big part of your mantra was that your husband has 8 hobbies and you have none.
Yes!
And that was creating some resentment
in
your relationship, right? Yes. And now I feel like that has been squashed, right? That's gone now.
Oh my God. I feel like, and it's so funny you bring that up because we were just talking about that because I was, I was like, okay, it's a year in review. Yeah. Like, let's talk about that. And I would agree. I think, he pointed out that he feels that I am more understanding now of when he's wanting to go and try something. Like there's I don't want to say I rolled my eyes a year ago, but I would definitely be like, so how long are you going to be gone for here? Like to try to get myself in a mental space of like parenting by myself and, try to get myself prepared for like, honestly, the jealousy that I had
and resentment, right? It's
that time that he had.
Now it's like a give and take, right?
It's a give and take.
We're doing this podcast recording for a few hours, and you know that when he goes and does something for a few hours, you're not gonna feel bad about it or feel any sort of way about it, right? Exactly.
Yeah, before I just didn't make that time, and it wasn't because he was holding me back. It was because I was holding myself back. Right. I was afraid that if I took that time that it meant I wasn't a good mom. Yeah. I was afraid if I took that time it meant that I wasn't a good wife. Right. And that I wasn't taking care of the house like I should be. And I wasn't making sure that I was there for every moment with the kids because they need to know that I'm there for every moment, right? That's not healthy.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
And
it wears on you. Like it just leads to sorts of resentment and stress and burnout and also so many negative things.
Exactly.
Like, you just can't keep going like that forever. And I think we've all women fall into that trap probably at some point, through life. And we found this has been a great outlet for us to kind of break free from that cycle, right? That vicious cycle. So, if you've been on our journey, I hope that you've gotten some good tips over the way. I think we've also interviewed a lot of really cool people through the year.
People, yes.
I was just thinking about Tammy Hackberth.
Oh my gosh, she was a great one.
She gave us that tip about like negotiating with your partner essentially ahead of time. Equity. Yes, partner equity. I loved that. I thought that was really stood out to me about sharing your time.
Absolutely.
But I don't know, we've met a lot of really cool people through the year, which that's also been a really fun part, like unexpected part, connecting with people through interviews and through their podcasts. I think that's been really fun. So never really expected to say that I was a podcaster.
No, I never thought I was gonna be saying
Do you feel like you can now say that you're a podcaster?
Oh my God, Erin, no. I still have the imposter syndrome. I still whenever even when I talk about hobbies, I don't toss out the podcast portion because I'm just like, what if I'm not really good at it? And they're like, why are you doing this?
Right.
But I do feel that I am getting better about talking about my interests, right? Yeah. Like, I still, holding back on the podcast piece, I am getting better about talking about myself with others, which I think was an area that I also struggled with, which is probably why I struggled to make friends, because I didn't know how to be, not only did I not feel like I had interesting things to talk about, I also just didn't think I had the opportunity to be vulnerable. And I think the podcast has really helped me, and I wonder if it's helped you with that vulnerability as well.
Definitely.
I mean, again, this is a diary that we're literally putting out.
I think about when we started, I felt like, do you remember the first few episodes, how nervous you were to record?
I would get sick the night before because I was like, oh my God.
And now, I don't know, I don't feel that stress about it, and it's just become just really positive and fun. And it was always, but now it's, I don't know, the vulnerability piece of it, not being so scared about that.
Yes.
So,
and it's really just sitting in a basement under some lights with my friend.
And we made it fun, we got this cool logo, these pink little microphone covers.
Absolutely.
So I guess we hope that you've enjoyed listening to ours, and we hope to bring more people into our community as we go forward. But just I guess as part of our message is that prioritizing self-care applies to everybody. And for us, our summers, when we start looking at our calendar, we're getting a little crazy, as most people do, I think. And felt that, it's time to take a little break for us.
Yep, so we got to get those vacations in, spend the time with the babies while they're home from school.
That's right. So we will be back on Sunday, August 3rd.
Yes, 2025.
And for season 2.
Season 2, we'll have new guests. We'll even probably try to bring back old guests.
Yep.
We'll be talking new hobbies, new self-care.
That's right.
We're very excited to get back into the studio.
Yes.
So now is the perfect time for you to catch up on all of our previous episodes.
That's right.
If you've only just joining us and you're just hearing this one, we've got a whole backlog. Get in there, start at episode 1. I think it's even titled The First Episode.
It is, I believe so, yeah.
You know where to start. Catch up with us over the summer while you're sitting by the pool, and we will see you guys August 3rd.
Yay! All right, bye.